my brother's spot.
All right.
Okay, live. All right. Hello, hello. I'm Jay Hadwin. We have a
Yeah.
guest today by the name of Madam President. One of my favorite on Instagram. I've been peeping her out, her content for around 4 months. I love her. Thank you for coming on my brother spot, madam. I really appreciate you. Thank you for believing in us. And can you let our followers and our subscribers know a little bit about you?
Absolutely. Well, my name, I go by Madam President with a Z. I'm 100% politically incorrect. I do social commentary every single day on your favorite meta platforms as well as anywhere else. And tonight it is on my brother's spot. So I talk all things
Yeah.
Black. That means Black money. That means Black family. That means Black liberation, Black education. If it ain't Black, then I don't want no parts of it. I talk Black.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's great. And my
So
name
you
is
right,
Willie.
you definitely with the right family with us,
Yeah.
if you are for the people. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all about my brother spot's all about unity. And we definitely have had talks about unity and unifying us actually will bring us closer to where we have a system. You know what I'm saying? Because like we were talking about last night, systems work, not talent.
Yes.
And we got a lot of talent, but we just not working together yet. We will eventually work together once we create systems. And like today, I kind of got into it with a brother on Facebook, and he got mad at me, and I got upset at him, and I had to tell him sorry because I said, "Look, we're not always going to agree upon something 100%. So we have to understand unity is the agenda, and all the little bullshit on the side and all that. If you're Aboriginal American Indian, if you pro-Black, if you African, this, that, it was over a post I had because it was a young lady that said that why are we tripping off Africans, you know, took over the Essence Festival.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, well, I've been going to Essence since I was at Southern University in 92, 93. It was sometime whoever was setting it up then, it was on some bullshit. So
Mm-hmm.
if they're going to take it over and make it better, we got to be accountable, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to have a system. So what do you think about that, madam?
Well, the first thing I would like to say is I don't want to leave our other person on the screen out the conversation. Willie, you forgot about him. You went straight to success, Jay. So Willie, go ahead and let the people know who
How
you
you
are.
doing? How you doing?
You know
Yeah,
what, madam? I'm sorry, Willie. Go ahead.
No, we talk a lot, so he figured out that we've been having a conversation, so he's just continuing, right? Yeah, I'm the lead web developer on my brother spot, and working with Jay on building this amazing platform. There's other people that's working on our team. I basically lead them, and everything you see on the website, and everything that all the initiatives that we're pushing is basically is my team working, and then I'm coming up with the ideas with Jay and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm so glad to be here, and I just wanted to make sure I just acknowledged everybody as we just have this seamless conversation regarding Essence Fest. So I just want to say that Essence Fest, it won't Black dollars like everything else. Also, too, even if the African is in charge, they're the head. The corporations who instilled all of the different staging, the corporations who was doing all the manufacturer things for Essence Fest is still a white organization. And what does that mean? That means that we are still behind as it relates to development, the architectural part of it. So once again, it's an establishment that spends millions of dollars annually to get Black folks excited, to get us jumping around and dancing. Like I told people before, I don't never hear another boots on the ground a day in your life if you're going to get yourself in order. I don't care if you don't ever line dance again, if you're going to get your life in order. So I think that as a people, we need to understand that we're past, and this is good because I literally asked ChatGPT. Not that it's my therapist, it's not, but I did ask ChatGPT a couple days ago. I said, "Can you tell me, just out of for research purposes, how long will it take to potentially deprogram a group of people that have been programmed for 400 plus years?" And the response was, "Well, it's really a timeless situation depending on how deep the programming has been. But if we take something like the experience of African Americans and really put them in a space, in a position to actually deprogram, that can take you 250 years. Do you hear
Wow.
me? 250 years. That's how long it will take to get a nigga unniggered. Okay? That's how long.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
And that was crazy.
Madam President, how can we? Because I said it on an interview with Brother Ben X, and I think he got upset at me. I said, "How can we change our 30%?" And he was like, "You should just be the clean glass of water, and they will copy you." He basically kind of clowned me. He was right. It sounds good, but it's okay. I'm gonna break this down.
Break it down.
China had the British come in, and they had those whatchamacallit, the narcotics, and they strung out a lot of Chinese. The Chinese government just killed them. And look at China today. You see what I'm saying? Like the shit actually worked, and it wasn't 100 years. I mean, 200 and some years.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I do understand that we are at like stage 5 cancer from a community standpoint. And, this is the stage where I'd like to call this, we are at a time where it's time for the great separation. It's time for the great separation. Those who are going need to congregate, have community, start building, and go ahead and let those it's the Walking Dead. Those who are the zombies, let them drink, let them smoke, let them, I mean, I hate to say it, have as many STIs as the world is going to do. Let them do whatever it is that they are going to do that's going to self-destruct. I am not here to convince you, of a good quality of life. Go ahead.
So what it is about that is, sometimes, we want to save everybody, but even in our own family, we can't save, our siblings or, people close to us. We can't do nothing for them, our spouses or girlfriend, boyfriend, so sometimes you just have to draw the line and say, you know what? I'm going this way. So if you want to come, you can come. It's going to be a percentage of people that will come with you and will fight the fight. Just like, in history, Martin Luther King, when he first started, everybody always say, I walked with Martin Luther King. It's so many people walk with Martin Luther King, but when he was walking, nobody was actually there. Right. So when he started, there was nobody supporting them, right? The other students, I think it's Fisk University, what they call the freedom buses, right? It was just a few people. I mean, there's millions of Black Americans in the United States at that time, but it was only like 20, 30 people that was actually taking the lead on, and look what they've accomplished, right? So I don't think we need to even care who's not understanding the changes that we want to make. At some point it will make a change, and the followers will be the followers. They'll follow at that time.
Right.
No, I agree. That sounds absolutely true. Who's coming is coming.
Yeah.
Who's not, they will never, they're not, and also too, I think there should be, we got to look into things and really come to the realization that everybody can come. Even now,
and that don't mean that we feel we're better than them. This is a system situation.
Let me tell you something. In the Black community, they say, "Oh, you can't judge nobody. You can't judge nobody." But every time you want to go to college, they want to know, what's your SAT score? What's your ACT score? Give me your letter of character. Give me your personal statement. When you want to buy a house, they want to know, what's your credit like? Every aspect of development has a standard. We are the only people that want to have a full-blown cookout, spade game conversation about what is the standard to one another. Everything requires something of you. You want to be an all-star player? How many points have you scored? You want to be an all-star player? How many touchdowns have you thrown? Everything that has elevation has a standard. But everybody in the Black community feel like you just supposed to just give me your most raggedy self, and you supposed to just be like, oh, okay, we are not Jesus Christ. That means we don't have the capacity to be forgiving every second. We don't have the capacity to be understanding every moment of the day. We are human beings. We don't possess what God possessed. We try. That's only put the effort in trying. We try to be better. We try to be kind. But we're human beings. That means that people are going to do, what comes natural, what comes easy all the time. This is why we have laws, speed laws. You got speeding laws because people are silly. They'll go 80 miles an hour in a school zone. So we have these laws in place so that we can start, okay, well, this is not going to be healthy. We got to.
Do they follow them in Atlanta?
No, they follow them on 285. On I-20 though, it's all good.
But one of the things I believe is important is that everybody has created a world that they have this ecosystem that works. The Jewish community have a system that works. They have a respect, a love system for one another, a value system toward each other. They want to marry each other. They do not want to steal, destroy, and damage one another. And then call it unity. And then call it cookout.
Right.
What?
Yeah. You're right. As a matter of fact, like, we are so hard on each other, and just like you said, we don't have the capabilities of the Most High. Like, I didn't even introduce my boy Willie. I messed up right there. But
that sounds good, huh?
Willie didn't even trip off of it because we all have a system. My brother Spot just crew. We have a system, and so he wasn't offended, but that was rude. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not perfect, and by you saying that, like, a lot of our people expect us to be perfect and our business to be perfect, and we don't ever have time to develop our business. And like Willie always says, we're the most underfunded race of people on this planet.
Consistently. People don't even blink twice. I want to say that we have a forgiveness toward everything but one another. Sometimes, people don't talk about, the doctors make mistakes. I have a friend, she works in the HR department and places doctors all over the world. A doctor literally will take out a left appendix and they were supposed to take out a right. And then they got a lawsuit, but guess what? They don't tell him that he'll never work again. They'll say, okay, we'll pay for this, and you keep on going. This is a doctor. I went to the dentist a couple I think last year, had this dental work. These folks charged me thousands of dollars to do dental work, and I still had to go back and do more dental work. I was pissed. We only had just don't have patience with one another. So I challenge myself sometimes. You know, you have to challenge yourself. Why I'm so mad, you know, people get so mad at their parents. I don't want to talk to nobody in my family. You know, why? They do nothing but just offend you. This entire country offended you. They told you that they made you go through the back door. Won't even that you got the most underfunded school in the world. You know, your schools are underfunded. You know, your son can get arrested and they can put weed on him, and you'll be fighting with the court, the system, the job, and you will put your whole house up for it. We have a lethal, unfair system, but people don't stop trying to be a part of it. So how come every time I say something you like, you want to cut me off? You want to stop being my friend. You want to stop being my lover just because, you know, I said something you don't like. I did something you don't like. You ain't stopped being on the road. We got 10,000 fatalities a day. You don't stop driving. You never stop. So we have patience with everything except the things that look like us.
Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what you're saying is right. And also, you know, I feel like the definition of all of that is just self-hate, right? So we always want to destroy one another. It's not because, you're black, I'm black. So it's just that, there's a lot of anger from everything that happened to us, right? Okay, but we can't throw that anger at the people who created the situation. We can't throw the anger at the Asians or the Indians, whatever. So the easy prey is us, right? So the thing that's really funny, we talked about this with Jay before, right? Okay, obviously I have an accent, right? And then I grew up in France, and then my family's from Caribbean and Africa, right? Within my family, I have parts of my family that's African, parts of my family that's Caribbean. When I was coming up, they were talking shit about each other, right? You know what I mean?
Damn.
Okay, so I'm like, that's crazy. Okay, but then I look on the African side, right? On the African side, I have some cousins, who are from other parts of Africa as well, and they're talking bad about each other in Africa. So in the Caribbean, right? My family's from Guadeloupe and Martinique, right? But there are other surrounding islands. They're talking bad about people from Dominica. They're talking bad about Saint Kitts. So in the United States, when I lived in the United States, I'm thinking, okay, well, shoot, like black Americans, they must love each other. No, the New Yorkers talking about the Southerners talking about the people from Texas, the people from California don't like the people from New York, and you know what I mean. It doesn't make any sense. Even in Georgia, I mean, Florida is right there, and people from Georgia don't want to be associated with people from Florida. And inside of Atlanta, people hate each other, right? You have the East, you have the West, you have the Muslim, you have the Christians. Like some Christians, like if you're Muslim, you're going to hell, right? Stuff like that. So, and you got the Moors, and you got the Hebrew Israelites, and then basically all this division, it comes out like there's groups of like 15 or 10. You can't have no power with 15 people. You can't have. So you divide, you divide, you divide, you divide. There's actually something going on right now on social media about boycotting African businesses, right? I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but I'm like, why are you putting your energy in the wrong place? Because first of all, the system is boycotting you on a regular basis, right? Okay, but you don't do nothing about that. But you want to go and after another person who's just like you. They actually going through the same struggle you're going through, and that's who you want to boycott. That don't make no sense.
Well, that's because the way the system works, the way the system works, and this is so challenging because when I start talking about the way the system works, I lose a lot of people because the mental space that you have to have to understand how vile a system is. I have to do a lot of work, internal work, to see me, my community, and the people next to me as valuable. That means that I have to work through, I don't know, because you were in, I have Africa and the Caribbean. I'm not sure, but you can tell me, do you have a community of self-worth when you were growing up?
So the interesting thing is, I grew up in France, right? And
Mhm.
then just like Black Americans, a lot of Black French, some of them come from Africa, some of them come from the Caribbean. There's actually a neighborhood on the east side of Paris, the 18th district, where Moulin Rouge and those things are,
Mm.
which has been, it's been Black people in that area for a long time, right? You know what I mean? So I have multiple identity, because guess what? Even in France, you have some Black French that don't want to be associated with the Africans, don't want to be associated with Caribbeans. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, I'm just Black French, right? So it gets really crazy, the division, right? Just like in the United States, you have people from different parts, people from the South, from New York, and then people don't want to be associated with other parts of the country. So it's the same thing. So inside of my family, I can't really identify with any particular group of people, because I live in so many different places, right? But it's funny to me, because I can see it from so many different aspects, right? I can see it, from my dad's side. I can see it from my mom's side, and how people are talking about other groups of people on this one side, another group of people on the other side. And then when I'm with my African side, I have to remind them, like, yo, I lived a long time in the United States. Like, what you're saying about Black American is foul. Yo, I'm also Caribbean, right? I gotta remind them, because they get me confused, right? They think, okay, we're supposed to hate on the same team. I can't hate on no team. I'm part of all the teams, right? So yeah.
Okay.
So you didn't see? Oh, go ahead, madam.
No. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just gonna say, Willie, you have seen all sides of us nine ether hair beings. You know what I'm
That,
saying?
and that's the
And we're
thing.
and the crazy thing about it, I'm an Aboriginal American Indian. I'm proud of that.
Hmm.
My grandma,
Right.
Choctaw. I'm proud of it. But the thing is that at one time, we all have to understand it was Pangea. All the
Right.
niggas was together. When the oceans rose, and I could be wrong, because we don't have a goddamn time machine. We really don't know everything, exactly what happened. And stop believing them goddamn books. And go, as Aboriginal American Indians never been to Africa. I've been to Africa. So they don't like Africans, because the ones that come to America are the bougie ones. They ain't even understanding that. I've been to Ghana. Them motherfuckers is nice as hell. And some of them not some of them, a good amount wasn't even asking me for money. They wanted to
Some did, huh?
and all that. They was cool. They had in Ghana, they had niggas, and then they had so-called Black people that was there. That was very cool. It's the same thing everywhere. No one's greater. That's why all this miscellaneous bullshit is cracking off. We just need to get our unity together and just leave the African niggas alone, the so-called African Americans niggas alone, the Hebrew Israelite niggas alone, all the niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I'm better than them. It's just the fact they make other races wealthy. They put all their money in, and they fuck up our system like that, because they don't believe in spending money with us so we could fucking develop something. You know what I'm saying? Because like I always say, the Hyundai used to be fucked up. Engine falling out on the fucking 405 91 freeway in LA is on the goddamn news channel, and then next thing you know, the Koreans are still getting Hyundais. Now look at Hyundai today. We don't do that. We'll be like, oh, that shit sucked. How are you gonna develop something and a brother or sister has an idea and you don't even want to keep putting your money in it? Family, donate to my brother's spot so we could get you to the point where you could be the highest paid content creators. You want to be on fucking YouTube and Instagram, me too, and all this for well under a penny, when you can make better money, well over $1 on my brother's spot. help us develop. We want 65,000 people. It sounds unbelievable, but you give it to the pastor. 65,000 people just give $10 so we could get this shit cracking, and then we could combat inflation.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple.
It's very simple. People like to be sold, a dream. So you say, I need 65,000 people who want God to do something in their lives. Then you get 85,000 people to show up and give you $10 a month. When you tell people, I want 65,000 people to sow a seed, then they show up. It's always this psychological warfare with your people. See, the thing is, Jay-Z, Beyonce, whoever, Kanye West. I would just throw out names. Don't mind me. I do this. I throw out names, and if he was asking, people will say, you know what? Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Mind you, this is the psychological mind F that is going on with people. Giving it to a billionaire, some kind of way, they feel aligned. They feel worth. They feel some kind of self-worth. Did you know that they did a survey? And this was in education. A student that was a C student with confidence. This is for Black folks very much. A C student with confidence will do better than a straight A student.
Exactly.
A C student.
Because we're not afraid to mess up.
This is what I'm saying. You got a bunch of smart idiots too. You know what you know. You know what you know. And we still be dealing with esteem issues. You know what you know. You shrinking every chance you get. We follow every system consistently. But that one thing, that one ideology that we believe that can take us over, we afraid of that. We are afraid of what real liberation looks like. If they like, I want, it's like, I've been a part of a few systems. When you go to college, you're a part of that system. I remember high school, that's a system. And then you go to college, that's a system. Then you get your first job and you get your second job. Then you start this whole work career thing and you start promotions and things. And it's like, damn, if you don't get your life, your mind right, these people will always have you on a hamster wheel of what you are worth. You have to get a psychological, you got to fight that psychological warfare so you can know that you really are worthy. You as a Black man building something like My Brother's Spot, there's no reason whatsoever that you all have to persuade anyone to be invested in something that will automatically come back to them. In fact, all Black creators should be like, hey man, what I need to do just to even have a second backup. Because once they get finished, with all of this censorship, with all of this stuff that's happening, I don't consider anything to be said. There should be all types of, this current climate, individuality, free thinking, man, that's a luxury.
Yeah.
Right now.
Don't you think that they're too busy? Our people are too busy and counting each other pockets. I think that's what's up. Because I think when people see me on here, they like, I'm not gonna pay Jay Hadwin. Nigga, I don't own My Brother's Spot.
Mm-hmm.
They really actually, that's what they're thinking, Willie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. The thing about that is, people counting people's pocket because their pocket is slim, right? And I wouldn't say that's like specific to Black people. I think any impoverished group of people, it's like the crab mentality, right? They don't want you to get out because they're like, like, okay, so if you get out, then you don't trust that I'm going to look out for you. That's
Good
one
point.
part of the problem, right? Okay. The other thing is, we don't really have respect for people who actually have a way out. We don't have
Mm,
respect for these people, because if you look at the story of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and if you look in current times in the business people that actually are doing some pretty incredible things
Mhm.
in the black community. I can mention one thing. We've talked about it. There's a young guy that has a wireless company. It's called Figures Wireless. It's black
Yep.
owned. Okay, they have everything that T-Mobile offers. They have it. They have phones just for black owned people, and I mean, not for black owned people, but they have phones that are black made, black owned, like it's black made right in the United States, right? um and if you go on Google and you check out Figures Wireless, okay, you will see nothing but people complaining about this company. It makes no sense. I used to live in
No.
Atlanta when Metro PCS came out. I was one of the first person to get on Metro PCS. Okay, I got out. I was at the store getting my phone and I had no service. And then I told them, yo, the phone is not working. They said, no, because this area we don't got service. But if you drive south, you're gonna have service. And black people got on that shit yeah, Metro PCS, right? People have Cricket Wireless right now. I mean, the thing is silent, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work, right? I mean,
Right.
it might work a little
Just
bit,
because
but
it's a little cheaper. Mhm.
because it's a little cheaper. But the thing is, Figures Wireless, is a company that up and coming. I don't know. I think they've been in business about 6, 7 years, but it's amazing to have an option like this. We should support that so they can get better. We shouldn't be like, oh, I got Figures Wireless, and and my service is not great, and then all kinds of stuff, right? So I think this is what it is. It's the whole mentality is, I got to destroy you at like whatever cost. Like myself, I'm working with Jay, I'm working with other people that are, leading the black community. And I don't have to be here to talk about anything because I've figured it out for my own, right? And I have my company, my web agency, I have a bunch of clients and stuff like that. So I could just live my life, right? And I come out and I really have to, I dealt with a lot of disrespect, but I don't worry about it because I'm like, hey, we got to go through this to get out of it, right? We got to go through this. But at the core of the problem is because a lot of us are struggling, right? And we just don't want to see the next person to be successful. So that's one of the big hurdle that we got to go over. We have to appreciate, we have to, really, support the people that are doing well. And one last thing I'm gonna
Mm.
say about this is we just love it when black celebrities are doing bad. We just love it, right? You know what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
some people they deserve it. Like Didi, all this stuff, they deserve it. But the thing is, you know, um, they just love it. Like as a community, we love to see our most successful people go down, and I don't know why that is, right? Because guess what? You know, uh, a lot of the other communities they support each other till the last minute. Like you know what I'm saying?
They do.
Even if you look at Europe, United States, Israel, they don't see eye to eye a lot of time. But if somebody talking bad about each one of them, they will still defend them. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So and look
Yep.
how strong it makes them, right? So we got to definitely change that.
Well, that's one of the things about community. When somebody is yours and something belongs to you,
Hmm.
there's a sense of, there's a connection to it. But what we like to do is, oh, when you're up in the community, oh, that's our guy. But when you're down, oh, he with them. So
Right.
I can't remember, but my father there's a psychology term about it. So, for example, the psychology term, it's like a person takes ownership of the victory, but never have any accountability toward the loss. So it's like it's like, oh, you win. Oh, we just won. When you lose, it's like you lost, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's no longer we just won. It's oh man, y'all lost. But when
Mm-hmm.
there's a win, the team, you're a part of the team that wins. You're not a part of the team that loses. It's a psychological term. My father uses it frequently, but I can't remember. But that's the psychology of it. The human being is well studied. Most people study. There is no subject matter that is more studied than human beings and human behavior. So people study technology now and psychology and all these different things, but the human being is the most studied. As any survey, people always want to, even now, what we have going on with the current climate of AI. I like to remind people that AI, it's not this system that created itself. It's mimicking the best brains. It's mimicking, the information that has come from the human being, even from a creative standpoint. When you put in, I want some kind of cinematic lighting on a video. It's not just giving you the cinematic lighting on the video because it's so intelligent, but it's capturing what a wonderful cinematographer had done before. They had already shown, so the computer is quickly giving us what man has already built. The
Right.
computer is uber intelligent. It's just literally taking all the information that has been input into a system, but it's the human being that created it.
Mm.
And unfortunately, by saying that, it doesn't, again, that whole system plays against us because we know that the brands that are mimicking, what those brands are. Actually, there's a joke. It's not so funny, but it was kind of funny. In the early days of Google. So Google introduced suggestions when you search. So if you were searching, I don't know, like Burger King, it will say near me, or Burger King in Atlanta, right?
Mhm.
So it was a search where people, you type, did white people steal it, and you say, did you mean did black people steal it, right? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Obviously,
Oh,
they fixed that, but the system, as the technology advance, the system continues to be, to have some systemic issues, and we still don't challenge it because everybody's talking about AI, but people don't know that the system is integrated into that, right? And then if you don't challenge it now, well, as it gets more and more complex, you just won't be able to challenge it at all. And the computer, the AI, is going to be even more ruthless than the human system that we're in right now.
mm,
Mhm.
mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Madam President, and that was dope, Willie. Madam President, I want to know how you s- got the idea to just start on Instagram and drop the gems that you've been dropping. What got
Thank,
you started with?
thank you for asking. I was always an MC. When I was in college, I used to host concerts and things like that. I've always had an interest in knowledge and education. I remember being in sixth grade, seventh grade, liking to read, liking certain things that was a little bit outside of, maybe some of my peers. I also hung out with my grandparents all the time. My mother had me as a teenager, so I spent a lot of time with old folks, as they would say. And so when you spend time with your grandparents when you're younger, what you end up getting is you get a very compassionate group of parents, a very, people that are interested. But what I learned was you start to talk quickly. I don't know if you ever noticed, but children who don't have siblings, they tend to grow up quickly because their parents are the ones that they're communicating with. So they kind of quickly start to talk, they would quickly start to walk around. They would quickly start to, become a
I
helpmate
see.
in the house. This is just natural, right? So, what got me into the self starting thing is when I was in college, I used to blog. I used to have madampresident.com, which I end up getting back. I own it. But when I was in college, I used to blog. I used to just do the blogging thing. At the time, you had places like Nicole Bitchie. You also had Angel on Fire. You had Media Takeout. You had Gossip. These were all these blogging spots that were coming.
Right.
And I want to say Madam President was probably born around 20, I would probably say 2012, 2013, when I just started to, become self-aware, understand the system. And the videos started recently on Instagram just about 2 years ago. I kept thinking like, I got something to say. I got input. I want to be a part of certain conversations. And I remember when I was younger, I used to think that you were the only thing you could be was, I'm a be, the next Oprah Winfrey. And do you want to know the reality of that is I wish I had the knowledge to learn the inner workings of media versus wanting to be the person with the mic in media. I value it, but having the knowledge, like Willie and yourself was saying, knowing that behind the scenes content, knowing the value of what it costs to run a 30-minute show, and then also the ads that go into the slots, knowing that whole system. Somebody like what's the brother name? He's a billionaire, but he's not as popular as Tyler Perry. His
Robert
name,
Smith?
Not him. It's another guy. He owns the Weather Channel.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think
Me
of the
too.
name.
I don't remember his name, but I remember he's bald headed.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he got that peanut butter complexion.
Yeah, he is. I can't think of his name, but he ended up Byron Allen, right?
Yes.
Byron. Okay.
Right.
So basically, he was very intelligent, so he knew. And as you can see, he's not. People don't know him the way you know a Tyler Perry because he's not always in front of the camera, but he's a billionaire man who started researching certain TV shows that people just probably only watch at 2:00 in the morning. People just run it, the Weather Channel, all these different things, but he bought ad space in all of them, right? So he's running these shows, and then he began to sell the slots for the commercials to the studio, which started giving him the big dollars, right?
Wow.
He wasn't chasing fame. He never wanted to make a motion picture. He figured out, he mastered this. How do I get my piece of the pie? Okay, all I need is to get comedians. All I need is a 30-minute segment. All I need is to get the studios to buy some ad space into these channels that not a lot of people watch. He built a $1 billion empire, off of that. But when I was in high school, they didn't tell you anything about that. And I like using high school versus college because your early education is your segue to your post-dairy education. That means that what you do in high school is very much has a way of transitioning you into college. So if you are a high school student who just really didn't value high school too much and you won't probably go to college. That's not your thing. Right. And that's not a bad thing. But now we have so many people that young folks in general, when we were younger, we didn't have the knowledge. Our professors, we could have used them better. We could have used them differently. But I decided that if women can get on and rap, if people can rap about vagina and popping ass, and if drugs and babies and baby mamas and shooting each other up, I felt like I can come on and start talking my stuff about white supremacy and liberating people too. So right. I feel like I got something to say too, right. And I feel like we don't have to have this one-dimensional process in what we listen to, what we tap into. So after the girls get finished, dancing and stripping and hanging out, go ahead, hear Madam President for 30 seconds. I'm Madam
Right.
President. I want 100% politically incorrect. And I believe I'm funny enough to be a comedian if I studied the skill set. But I realized I'm not on, my purpose is to make people think before making them laugh. So I always said, I want to make people think. If I can just change a handful of lives, that's in women in general, that's lineage. If I change the mind of one woman, that changes the lineage of 100 to 250 years, as ChatGPT said. So that means that if everybody, they tell you wealth, oh, you got to get your money, you got to get your wealth building, you got to do this, you got to do that, and that's fine. But I'm here to tell you that you have got to get your mind right, because like that showed you some of the people who won the lottery, most of them losing millions of dollars. They smoke it, they drink it, they shoot it up, they snort it up, they do anything that's going to self-destruct, self-destroy. So it's like, I need to change, the lives of 5 women. Give me a handful. That's 5 different generations that's going to have a different outcome.
But you know what? If we actually learn how to live financially in America and create a system amongst us, like seriously, and I have to say this, like my brother Spot, come on, pay us $10 a month, to develop our infrastructure, and your business will get visibility, more visibility on Google, and it'll get more visibility on our YouTube channel. And you will help us get more interesting people on that'll help us on our YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? It's all a system, and it doesn't happen fast. And that's all we're trying to do. Like, we have you as a guest on the show, and thank you so much. And you know what, Madam President? It's crazy how Black women are the only ones helping my brother Spot.
Well, Black women, that thing, first and foremost. You ain't gonna find no other folks on the planet like a sister. That's just number one.
Thank you.
Black women, like, if you just think about all the different personas of Black women, from the one who has the je ne sais quoi, from Big Mama, who come baby, come down, sit down, get you a plate, get you something to eat. Your auntie.
Oh, that was my grandma. Yeah.
Yeah, you got an auntie. She got a stank attitude, but she good on a spreadsheet. She good in counting. She can do a lot of good math. You know what I'm saying? She need a man. He ain't, but she's still gonna do what she got to do. She's dependable.
Yeah.
We got great character. All of us, Black folks in general. I keep telling you, you see those babies online. You start playing drums, the babies got rhythm. Ain't no brand new baby got rhythm, but a Black baby. that's a baby got soul. Ain't even walking yet, can start dancing, and just I'm amazed by us all the time. That's just number one.
Me too. We just not using it right in this system. We're not using it right.
We're not using it right, and it's too many movements, So it's like everybody has a different agenda. This is why reparations and so many other things is so challenging for us as a people. Everybody needs something different. This is why we struggle with, everybody's able to get reparations besides Black folks, because we're still fighting amongst each other about.
True, but I don't think, Madam President, I don't think they're going to give us reparations. And the reason why is because my pops used to always say this. He was like, son, white people have to cheat. If they don't cheat and destroy stuff of everybody, but especially us, or destroy our families, our whole systems that we had, they're not talented enough on an equal playing field. And we keep wanting an equal playing field. All we have to do is just like, we're just gonna get a Jewish federation. We're gonna get a Korean coalition, put money in. that's my brother's spot, and let it develop so we could help you make money and combat inflation. That's what all these, and you could go on it. Go on the Jewish Federation. We're not invited. I don't care. Go on the Korean Coalition. We're not invited. Do you know they have programs for their people, their elderly that don't make a lot of money? They pay their property taxes. So how are you going to gentrify their neighborhood? Why can't we do that? This is what I'm talking about. We don't study other ethnicities, why they're winning. The reason why they're winning is because they fucking share.
They do. They share the information, but one of the reasons that they
and
win
money too is a tool. They put in money in, and they be like, okay, this may not work. I don't like them. Like I have Japanese friends, I have Korean friends, I have Jewish friends. They don't be liking the people they invest in, but they know if it develops, they have a job or they have another choice.
Well, I think what's happening is they're futuristic. You know, people who are preparing for tomorrow only or trying to make it do what it do today or just trying to get to Friday night, you know, they can't fathom 10 years from now. You know, they can't plan for it. So that's another thing too. If you look at every urban community, there's a liquor store on the corner, but no bank. That means that the intention is this isn't a place that people are going to do business, but they're going to be alcoholics. This is a place that people are going to party, but they're not going to have a business center anywhere around. And that's all by design too. So I'm gonna be honest with you. You already know this is. I don't want to make excuses for us because there's a group of us that have strayed away from that thinking. But if you have a bunch of flies and you put the top on, and they were trying to get to the top, you saw the experiment. You put the top on a bunch of flies, and they keep hitting the top. When you take the top off, they don't even try to get out the glass anymore. Well, that's the same thing with people. People are no different than the flies. The brain is wired the same half of the time. So they don't sometimes think about 50 years later. Thinking about 50 years later for a group of folks that's trying to figure out just, can I get $40 to Friday? You know what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all, but my cousins be like, shit, you got $40.
you know what? I think that's hindering me. I used to actually think like that. But when I was in the Navy and I traveled to other countries and saw Black folks in other countries, African Americans in other countries, aberrant, whatever title y'all want to put it as, yo, we spoiled here in North America. No one ain't poor. This is what I'm trying to, we need to travel more. Y'all want to see some poor? Go to fucking Haiti. Y'all want to see some poor? Go to certain parts of Africa. Go to the Philippines. Go to the Famalias in Brazil. These are all the places I've seen in Colombia. You're gonna see some shit. That's why everyone come over here, and the women that they bring over, their mating rituals in those cultures are very inexpensive because their expectation is lower. I'm not blaming our sisters, we're conditioned. But we have to have these uncomfortable talks in order to restructure what we have to do in our culture. And one of it is we have to start paying, I'm sorry, not pastors. They ain't gonna help us because they're paid by someone else. They getting hooked up by someone else. We have to be we have our own leaders. Systems. We have our own. We don't have no one picking us. Where did Obama come from? Where did he come from?
And I will tell you, you know, I'm listening to what you guys are saying, and you know, we've talked about systemic issues. A lot of the reason why we can't unite is because how we are funded, right? I remember when I was starting my business way back in late 90s, my first business, and I went to a SBA because when you start your business, you say, hey, I'm starting my business, what can I do? How can I get help? They say, well, go to the SBA you know, office, and then they'll tell you. And then in the SBA office, I don't know if because it was Atlanta, but it was a lot of black people. And then they were basically saying, hey, you know what? You can get a grant. You can get a loan from the bank. You can get this, right? Or the SBA has a plan for you. But the thing is, all of these plans, grants, it's not us that's operating or running those things, right? It's somebody behind. So they basically got a plan for us, right? And you can't unite if everything that you're trying to do is driven by somebody else, right? If you live in somebody's house, you can't cut the grass the way you want it, right? You can't paint the walls you want it, right? So before you do that, you got to get really smart and just basically know that despite all of the differences that we may have and stuff like that, first thing we need to do is we need to trust each other and work together, right? That's the basis of everything. Without that, as long as there's all this division, you're never going to be strong enough to change anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're
No,
right.
you're right.
And I got to say this, brothers and sisters, whenever you listen to Willie, my Aboriginal brothers and sisters, just because he has an accent, he's part West Indies, he's part African, don't derail him. He has helped my business so much, advised me and helped me more than any Aboriginal American Indian. It seemed like all our people that are Aboriginal American Indians, they're trying to make money and they're not even coming together peacefully. You know what I'm saying? They're bickering. They're fighting over money. They're competing against each other. No, you have to share. We have to become united. If all of us come united, we will not have to depend on pale people. Seriously. We would not have to depend on them. We would not have to depend on them. So stop thinking that you're better than an African. Stop thinking Hebrew Israelite, you're the chosen one. The Muslims, all this. We're not chosen. Because if we are chosen, we'll be goddamn superheroes that you think you are. Oh, yeah, I see the sign of this and that. And you got to put action in order for things to work. We have such a mentality, and we're so beautiful and talented, and we're believing in all these chakras and shit. Motherfucker, go to work with a group, and it's gonna work. Why you think they don't stop us from doing that? Because they know that shit don't work. Action and systems work.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they try to stop, that's what works. They ain't stopping Tyler Perry and all that. Hey, all right, nigga. They ain't stopping that because it works to hinder us.
Oh yeah, it not only it works to hinder us, but it also changes the way that we think. We had this conversation before, and Tyler Perry movies. I'm not really a big fan of Tyler Perry movies because it plays a lot of stereotypes and make them stronger, right? I was talking with Jay, and I was saying, when did you ever see a successful black person in the Tyler Perry movie that's not working at the bank and dressed in a suit all the time, right? I have a lot of different clients, and there are some black-owned businesses that are actually making very, very good money in plumbing, in electrician and stuff. But we don't look at these people like they can be an asset to the community. We look at these people like, oh, he's just a plumber, he's just an electrician. Some of these guys are making $200,000 a year. So some of these stereotypes in black movies, or quote unquote people that help to portray black people across the world, they only show us like, okay, that one dude that work at the bank on the 51st floor, you know what I'm saying? That's the only guy that's eligible for the beautiful woman. That's the only guy that's eligible for the nice house, right? But we just watch it, but it does a lot of things to your mental, right? Because you're looking at that and you're thinking when you're 10 years old, that's who I want to be. But the thing is, to be on the 51st floor for that corporation, right? As a black person, it's not necessarily always feasible, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's good to know that we have other options, and there's plenty of options outside of what's sold to us in a stereotypical way, right?
Right.
So I want to say
Now,
something
check
really
this out. Oh, go ahead, Madam President.
One of the things that I wanted to say about Tyler Perry and the enterprise that he has developed is that the hardcore truth is stereotypes do exist and people live those lives. And as a creator myself, I realized that the issue is not that Tyler Perry or Will Packer or, any Black person that's a creative, Shonda Rhimes. It's not that the image that you see is problematic. I believe one of the biggest problems is that you don't see enough images. You're not, it's like you have white television, you see a million rom-coms. You can pick your choice, where you don't feel stuck with just this one rom-com and they're not funny and you get a chance to critique it over and over because you see tons. You don't even be like, Vince Vaughn, Vince Vaughn, he's in all the white rom-coms, and it's like you never get a chance to say, why do you keep hiring Vince Vaughn? Because it's a different movie, different character all the time. You're just like, So I think that's one of the issues. I'm also going to share and say that I work in TV and film, and in the time that I was out of work for about a year, Tyler Perry was the only person that was working in Hollywood. He built a machine. And he built a machine to the capacity that while everybody else needed permission to work, he was the only one that had keys to a studio that can turn them on and turn them off without the permission of others. And I know
I respect how you feel. I really do.
Yeah, without the permission of others. The difference is the permission. Every studio that you work for, most times, they all have, there's a due process. There's we need this. Who's going to greenlight the project? Who's going to approve the budget? Who's going to work in the accounting department? There's all these things that go into place. So I would like to say that I don't think Tyler Perry is an issue. I think the issue is we don't see enough Black images. You should be like, I saw a Tyler Perry movie. I saw Eddie Murphy movie. I saw a movie by Madam President. I saw a movie by Jay Hess. I saw a movie by this guy named Willie. I saw a movie by my mother. You should be like just drenched with different dramas, different characters of Black people. So the images that you're seeing, it's not that they don't exist because they do exist.
Right, of course. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
We don't see enough of the latter part. Like you say, there is a way to make the plumber desirable, to make it wealthy and healthy and family oriented. And don't forget, Ice Cube does that in some cases.
He sure did with the barber.
Exactly. I'm also a movie person. I enjoy cinema in general. I should be doing much more cinema stuff. So I wanted to say that so that we can also know that, because I know what it is. Like we go to school and we have these things. Like you have a business and your business is successful. Then you meet the woman whose business is not successful, and not because it's not a good business. It's just you don't have the capital. Don't have the knowledge to have the system in place. Or don't have the X, Y, and Z to keep it running. Wanted to close it. So it's like I want to give us grace where there should be. But I can always go around and say, I don't want to see this image. But it's not like I'm mad about this image. I think I need to see more images.
Right. And you know what?
I love the way you put that.
You're totally right.
My bad. Willie, 1 second also. I'm sorry. And then you could be the last thing said because we're running over time. That's the only reason why. So, are you okay, Madam President?
No. I wanted to basically I wanted to let your audience know that I'm Madam President with a Z. I'm 100% politically incorrect. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms. I will be here again with my brothers whenever they have me on.
Thank you, Queen.
Please tune into my brother's spot. This is a place, this is a safe space for Black people to elevate, all people to elevate. If you are a content creator or a creator of any kind of, on places like TikTok, they doing QVC style sales, the world is yours. This is a starting point for so many people. And I think that you would be a fool to miss out on this. I'll see you all again. I'm out.
Thank you for
All right.
coming.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
Willie,
you.
last,
Uh-huh.
hold on. All right,
Yeah.
madam. Willie,
Yeah.
so yeah, say what you were about to say, and that'd be the.
Oh well, you know what? She was totally right about Tyler Perry. It was not a jab at Tyler
Mhm,
Perry himself.
mhm,
It was more to say that like she was saying, she just basically completed my what I was saying, that we actually need to see more images, or more. We need to hear more stories about the different different types of black people, and what's going on in their life. And
right.
we need to see different stories of success. So she definitely answered that like perfectly. And Tyler Perry, I know that he employs a lot of people in Atlanta, and I've
Sure
heard a lot of
does.
great stories about what he's doing in the community. And yeah, so that's what it was about. We need to see more images of successful black people, rather than just that one. Even though there are some successful black people in the corporate world, I mean, there's
Mhm,
tons of CEOs out there, they're black CEOs in Fortune 500. So that's not
mhm,
something to discount. But
mhm.
we just need to to see all of the different stories of success in our community.
Yeah, she made a great point, and she's extremely witty. Like I said, I've been looking at Madam President on Instagram. Y'all go out and check out Madam President on Instagram for like 4 months. She's awesome. I love her mind. I love it. And what I like the most about her mind, she's trying to unify us. And that's what my brother Spot is trying to do. That's what Afrobiz is trying to do. With Willie, he's a web developer on Afrobiz also. We all just trying to bring us together. And if all of us think slightly different or have different ways of culture and outlook, we're not in high school no more. We still should be putting money into nine ether hair beings, into, brothers and sisters. If you want to, pray, if you um, meditate, if you believe in the cosmics and all that, that's fine. Put the action in. I guarantee you, if you do it as a group of people with all of us, this shit gonna work. No one can stop us. But if you just relying on being a superhero and you thinking you could change the weather and all that, it's just not gonna work, y'all. We've been doing that for a long time. It's time to get out the fantasies and let's put the action and get uncomfortable. And when we mess up, we learn from it. That's why China ruled the world, because the British ran over them. And then Willie, you know what I'm saying? Didn't they run
Yep.
over them? Like the British had China like jacked up. Look at China today. You know why they're the way they are? Because they unified. It's not that
Yeah,
they're just some amazing smart people. They unified. It's unity that wins.
that's right. That's right. Yep. So yeah, it was a great conversation, everybody. Thank you for coming out. And of course, check out mybrotherspot.com. We have had a few of these lives over the past few weeks. We're going to have more to not only discuss about issues in the community, but also to find solutions. Right
Yeah.
now, we have solutions that we're working on already at My Brother Spot, especially in the tech space, AI, black entrepreneurship. We really have something huge that we're putting together for black entrepreneurs that really, is not really being done right now. On the internet. So you go and check it out. Go and check out mybrotherspot.com. It's an excellent way for your business to be visible. It's excellent way for you to drive great focused traffic to your website. Okay, but thank you for you guys coming out. And Jay, you have anything else to say?
No. Well, one thing, I love my people. I love y'all. I love y'all. And that's why, you know how parents love their kids so much that they beat the shit out of them when they do bad stuff, and they just, some of parents curse them out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If they didn't do that, that means that they don't care. Jay-Z don't curse us out. All these people that are been picked and all that to be stars and basketball players, and they don't curse out. They ain't mad at us because they don't give a fuck. We do. We do. So that's all I gotta say.
All right, man.
All right.
All right. Thank you for coming out.
All right.